Welcome to part two of getting a job and planning your career. In part two, Keith will discuss about some more resources to help determine what kind of jobs are out there and what they require, as well as some other helpful tips and tools.
One of the other pieces of the puzzle is what jobs are available. What jobs are available to me at this time, and what are the long-term projections for those jobs? What do those jobs typically pay at the beginning level, at a midpoint, and for a more advanced level? In my specific geographic region, what sort of projections exist for what is expected for the next year? In Missouri, this can be found utilizing MERIC, Missouri Economic Research and Information Center data. And here is the address there for that, and you can look at occupational jobs in specific geographical regions and put that together with your interest to see what sort of jobs would be good jobs to choose. Some occupations are declining. Some occupations are growing very quickly. And it's important to know how to identify those in order to make your next step. There are hundreds of occupations in the economy. However, if someone were to really want to focus on what would be high demand fields and therefore high paying fields, sometimes it's useful to consider these and ask the question, is this something that other analysis and other indicators suggest that would be a good match for me? Information technology is a continually growing field. Of course, healthcare is going to be a continually growing field. Transportation and truck driving is very much a growing field, and that's associated with warehousing and logistics. Advanced manufacturing, financial services, and construction. These are good places to start looking at if these do show up as something that's indicated for your field of interest. Another important factor to consider, of course, are the support needs that you might have. Support needs includes childcare, if that's applicable to you, transportation. What type of transportation? What is the availability of the type of transportation that you would need? What medical care situations do you have? And also support for education. It's important to work with the employment specialist to identify resources that you need and what support is available. And the employment specialist can either provide support or point in directions that you could use to see support for your job needs in the process of developing a career. Another piece is education. Different occupations, of course, require different levels of education and training. There's an increased value, I think this has already been mentioned, in many fields in short-term certificates, which not only target specific needs, but because they are short-term and are offered frequently, they can be more up-to-date, because some skills in the modern economy really have a shelf life to them. This is particularly the case with information technology. There are also some cross relationships between information technology and other sectors such as healthcare and transportation and logistics. So up-to-date training is essential for developing a career. There are many resources that you may utilize if you decide that in working a job or working in a setting if you need to utilize resources for additional training. There are regional degree completion programs that are available. If a person is eligible, they may utilize state vocational rehabilitation funding. There's specialty funding for veterans. The U.S. Department of Education has educational opportunity centers that they establish, and they have working relationships with other entities such as community colleges across the United States. And these are centers that would assist with identifying additional scholarship funds or funding for education. Also, in the workforce development system in the United States, there are local workforce development boards. They receive monies for training. These are trainings that are provided in high demand fields that we've already covered depending on the Workforce Development Board. And that is something that you certainly may utilize as well. One of the things to not overlook is tuition reimbursement that may be available through an employer. So when someone is selecting a job, if they're looking for something down the line that they think that they might need some education services or education to advance in a career, it's very important to look and see what, if this employer offers tuition reimbursement. And there may very well likely be other sources as well, depending upon the region you're in and your personal situation. I think in putting it together, we can see here where there are these circles of training and personal characteristics and support and available jobs. And what we're looking at is looking at a match that is right in the center, that is a situation that you would have to look at where all of those intersect. The support is together, it matches your personal characteristics, there are growing jobs in that area, and also there are training opportunities. Notice that this might not be much different than, in some situations, how you might be looking at obtaining a job. The difference is when you're looking at a job path that leads to career, the parameters are a lot more specified, and it's a lot more goal-driven, and the subsequent actions relate to career development. So careers are related really to advancement, developing expertise, and developing earnings. It's a way that you can look at your involvement in the world of work not only as something that provides you an income, which of course you need, but also it provides you an opportunity to develop expertise. It helps you develop as a person, and it helps companies and it helps society when you utilize your skills to the best of your ability and within the context of working and what it means to work in society and provide services to people. So developing a career is really a lot more target-oriented. When you think in terms of career, you're better able to articulate what you're doing, why you're doing it, better understand how you can do it, and also have a better focus on what the result is going to be. One of the things we might want to consider is that people do change careers at different times in their lives. Sometimes this is because of choice. Sometimes this is because they need to look at other options they have for working. Career planning, I do want to stress, is really relevant to any age. It could be an upper level person in a large company that loses their job because of restructuring in that company. It could be the relocation of company or significant functions of that company to a different region, or to a different region in the United States or a different region in the world. It could be due to a physical condition that a person has, and they no longer can perform the duties of a job that they had, but need to look at other types of jobs. So there are a number of reasons that someone might want to look at a career and look at career planning, even as a worker that has been at work for a while. It's not just for people that are starting out their career. As well, I think it points out, sort of going along with that, that due to the changes in the economy and changes in industries, lifelong learning is increasingly important in the development of careers. To summarize, I would like to say that a lot of times when people are looking at some crossroads and trying to think about where they might want to be and where they might want to go, it can get confusing. However, the good news is that there are a number of resources out there that will allow you to find out more about yourself, how those things about yourself relate to what's going on with employment in the community, and utilizing other resources as well. So it involves some work in putting together a plan, but in implementing the strategies, the overall message that we have is that you can do it. So feel free to contact us, and we would be delighted to further discuss that with you. Again, my name is Keith Kelly with Catholic Charities. I hope that you found this presentation useful and providing some things to think about and some resources that you can explore. If you have any questions about how to further explore those resources and need some assistance with that, please do feel free to contact us. Included here is my telephone number and my email address. And I hope that the session here is something that you're able to certainly utilize in developing a career. Thank you.